Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Okay. You have to call us back. I think you are calling on the wrong
Right.
frequency here. So we are. So continue what you're saying about.
So what
after.
I'm saying is that, for instance, after as a business policy, because it's a business policy for Africa to grow
Okay.
Africa,
Okay.
to make sure we trade amongst ourselves. As a policy, Nigerian government shied away from it initially. It was a recent time that it's been embraced, and of course, other countries have taken the best part of the meal, and we are left with trying to grapple with quite a number of things. So I just cited that as an example
Okay.
because it's business oriented, and if we are the giants of Africa, we should be at the forefront, dictating how things should go on that platform. That being said, I think in recent time I see a lot of steps being taken to ameliorate the wrongs that have been done in that area.
Okay. So you say we were not in the forefront as we should have been.
No, we were.
Okay. So let's go to the. Can you mention a few? Like for instance, now you mentioned gave us an example. What if we dwell into the sustainable development goals that we have? What is our projection on that in terms of the business environment in Nigeria?
Okay, let me just quickly say that I represent International Chamber of Commerce Nigeria, and ICC globally is the only private sector organization that is given the observer status in the United Nations. And this has given ICC to be at the round table when they're discussing the issues that relate to the world. And so, in terms of how far we've gone in the area of the SDG, we are doing quite a lot. But I think there's need for a lot of consolidation so that pockets of people are not doing different things. And if there's a lot of consolidation and put these things together, the impact of the goals will be more achieved in our environment than the way it is right now.
So, where does a lot of times talk about the foreign currency and how the different policies of foreign currencies affecting businesses in Nigeria. Can you share your take on the different policies of federal foreign currency right now and how it's affecting business in Nigeria?
In recent time, in particular, it's been very, very terrible. The foreign exchange policies have been, counterproductive. What I mean by that is that there was a time where we used this will sound like a banking term. We have the retail Dutch mark, we have the wholesale Dutch mark, in which the banks have the backing of the CBN to provide the foreign exchange that is needed for trade. Trade itself is the lifeblood of any nation. Without trade, we cannot produce everything, neither can we consume everything. So there must of a necessity be trade. And trade can only happen when there is free flow of foreign exchange. We are not in the days of old where you do trade by barter. Now we trade with money. And so in terms of the policy of government, we have the CBN is the regulator, and unfortunately in recent times I think they have so much to handle and very little amount of foreign exchange to go around. So there have been a lot of shift in the policies, which in the long run may be beneficial, but the immediate shock is what you're saying, that you see the exchange rate to dollar is so it's not only to dollar, to any currency. So I think that there should be a kind of retrospection on the part of government to see, okay, how best can we do this? Some of the policies they brought out is this issue of you bring $4, you get $1 free or something like that. All these new policies just to encourage repatriation of the effects into the country. But that's the impact of that. I can't say to you right now, but we can't feel it yet. Neither is the FX, neither is the dollar coming, the exchange rates coming down. So, in terms of specific policy going forward, it is important to look into that direction. Otherwise, we will not make any progress. I'm not being a pessimist.
No, but we want to talk about his attitudes so that we can look always forward.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about here. So you talked about the central banks, the idea that they want to show a foreign policy in the country. How can you explain how important that is for the country to show up foreign exchange?
Oh, in showing of foreign exchange, you have to create an avenue of trust. You know, banking itself is based on trust. You have gone to keep your money somewhere because you expect that you'll be able to take your money when it's time for you to take it. So, in showing up our foreign, I mean, the reserves, as it were, we need to go beyond looking at oil. We need to look at other means of generating this foreign exchange and make sure that this money comes into the country. I think, I mean, the recent idea of some people going to take the foreign exchange and then they use it for business and not bring it back into the country is counterproductive. It is not helping other businesses in the country. So I think that we need to look into non-oil exports, you know, and we need to look at other means that we can use to generate. There are quite a lot of things that we can sell as a nation. We have our area of entertainment, which used to be, I mean, it's been growing. It has been growing a lot of followership. You know, entertainment industry is fantastic. The telecommunication industry is providing more job opportunities. Those are things that could bring in more foreign exchange into the country in a structured way, such that even those who have repatriated their money, they will not be regretting it. Of course, you all agree that we all, whether you are a local banker or international banker, I mean, it leveled everybody to the point that you have to use your naira to buy another naira for sustainability. I think that is not good enough and may be discouraging for those who want to come into the country. Those who want to invest in this country want to know that, yes, they have policies. They have policies, they have rule of law, they have ways of administering justice that can give them assurance that they are coming to a good environment. And of course, the infrastructure must be there.
So, okay, you've kind of started talking about what the next question I wanted to ask, as how important is the international community to business in Nigeria, to the growth of Nigeria's businesses around?
Well, I think that the international community, I mean, they are just very, very important. Important in the sense that you can be a standalone country, even with other countries that have been very tough in dealing with other people. I mean, Russia, for instance, they still have to relate with other countries. And for instance, the organization that I represent, that was what initiated the setting up of that organization. It came after the World War in 1919, and they looked at it that how can we exist together and be able to do business together. And that is why the founding fathers of the ICC, they are called the Merchants of Peace. Without interrelationship with, there can't be peace. Neither can there be employment. Neither, in fact, the poverty rate will be very, very discouraging. So, in terms of the international organization, each one is focusing on different aspects of life. The ICC, our mission is to make business work for everyone, every day, everywhere. International Labour Organization, their mission, amongst other things, is to ensure that they have good interpersonal relationship in the workplace and the policies that surround that. We have other groups of people, the other groups of international organizations whose mission will help to build the nation. So we cannot but look in that direction and cooperate with them.
All right, once again, phone number to call is 0813 331 3172. 0813 331 3172. We saw your call now. You can give us a call back. We're ready to receive phone calls right now. 0813 331 3172. If you're just tuning in, this is NECA Voice of Business on Radio 113.1 FM, and we are talking about business international relations and how it affects businesses in Nigeria. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, can you please address the issue of trust funds and internationalization companies? How does it affect our organization?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Hello?
Can you repeat your question?
Okay. How can the trust funds by international aviation industry affect our relations with other countries? Because I'm aware that a lot of foreign airlines have funds are trapped in Nigeria and
Trapped funds. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that question. Just listen ahead and she will get.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the question. I want to take it from the perspective of dispute resolution, and that's one aspect of the ICC that is very critical. Dispute resolution is very important in any business relationship, and that's why before you go into the contract in the first instance, you must put your clause whether you want this dispute to be settled by arbitration or by mediation, or you actually want to go to the court. This must be very, very specific. If you are going into international business and you are not aware of things like that, you may be losing resources. I mean, you may be losing funds. So, international airlines, I am sure there must have been a contract with the Nigerian government as to how to repatriate their funds, and they also have obligations to the Nigerian government. So it's a two-way thing. So it's not, oh, because we have international airlines, so good, they are just taking our money and so on. These are policies and strategies that have been well laid out and agreed between the government and the foreign airlines. So that being said, the more disruptions we have in that sector of the economy, the more losses that will be counting on the part of government.
You did mention, okay, the one recurring talk on this show has been the changing of policies here and there, different policies, different governmental policies within the same agency. Like you have like 2 or 3 offices studying to manage the same thing. Does this can this affect this cash trapping of foreign exchange?
Well, there's no doubt that the government of the day needs to look into overlapping of institutions, government institutions, and the functions of some of these institutions. Everybody wants to feel very important. Everybody wants to carry out their functions effectively, and I mean, in that regard, there will be limitations to the flow of business in one way or the other. But that being said, there should be a policy, and some of these institutions are already putting them in place. There should be a policy to say that, okay, if you are needing a certification in our institution, our parastatal, within 1 week you get it, start to finish. A lot of these institutions now are automating their processes so that interfacing with human beings can be reduced considerably. And those are the international best practices nowadays. You want to export or you want to import. The processes are well laid down. There's the custom portals that you can go into and fill in the information relating to what you have taken out of the country. You look at the fees to be paid, you look at the certification to be paid. All of these things should be done in a very seamless way so that it then becomes attractive. But the limitations that we get through the overlapping of functions of the institutions can be limiting for business.
All right, it's 0813 331 3172. 0813 331 3172. Now, let's talk about SMEs and MSMEs. How do they impact the economy, and where does international relations come to helping them develop businesses in Nigeria? There is a saying that at least um, they are the people that employ the most labor.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. Without SME, I mean, we can't go back this economy. Thank God for SMEs. Thank God for those who could employ 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, you know, and so on and so forth like that. And yes, they are very, very critical, but they don't get the sympathy of many people. They don't get the sympathy of those who also finance them. They don't get the sympathy of some customers. They don't get sympathy so much. And so, and then they have to bear a lot of cost on their part.
why do you think they don't get that sympathy?
Oh, you see, okay, let me cite the example of, okay, you are used to ordering some things online, and that, because that's what's, and then you are a small SME, you have to fuel your generator, to on your phone, to on your data, to even address the order, to meet up with all this demand. There's quite a lot of things that the SMEs have to bear, and ideally they shouldn't be bearing those. There are some costs they shouldn't bear. You know, if there's electricity, things will be easy, things will work better, and that's why I said they are not getting the sympathy. And at times, some people might even buy from them. Those who are into buying and selling, some might buy and not even pay. And then sometimes some of them they go to borrow from the banks, and because they don't understand the processes involved, those tiny, tiny 5%, 2%, 1%, the accumulation of that can drain their businesses. So it's very tough for the SMEs. But I think in recent time after COVID, a number of international organizations, including mine, looked at. We are currently looking at ways of giving capacity to the SMEs, teaching them at no cost on how best to run their businesses, telling them to give cognizance to some details, especially risk-related details.
Fine prints.
Yes, so it's very, very important. So we are opening up, and I know some other bodies are even particularly funding some, especially women institutions, and if it may be little fund, and that little fund may actually be what the SME is looking out for to rejig the business or to resuscitate the business, which may possibly be comatose.
Alright, so you spoke about the women not giving more, at least giving the help they need. Do you think women generally are sitting in their places or get the opportunities to sit in high places to speak about women issues? Are they breaking into the fold when it comes to business in Nigeria?
I will say that we have not arrived there yet, but yes, we are. I mean, at least I'm the Secretary General of International Chamber of Commerce, and quite a number. I want to say that give kudos to the organization I represent. About some years back, there was a policy that says that all employment should be 50-50 kind of employment, kind of appointment. I told you that we have the International Court of Arbitration.
Yeah.
Today, the president of the court, in the 100 years of the existence of that organization, is a woman. Her name is Claudia Salomon. The overall chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce is a woman. She's from Mexico. So the organization that I represent, not mainly because it's an international organization, actually took a decision. They took a decision that there must be gender balance. And in having a gender balance in organizations, it will give equal opportunity to men and women to rise together, because they both have equal opportunity to contribute to the growth of the organization.
You're still listening to, you are still listening to Nickel Voice of Business. We have just a little time left, but we still can talk. You're switching in from Radio 1, 103.5 FM, and we are live So you can call in to ask your questions or make a comment. What do you see about the business environment in Nigeria? What are the challenges? If you have any questions to ask, but phone number 0813 331 3172. 0813 331 3172. Let's now speak to some of your expectations for the incoming government and the different aspects, different facets of business. What are some of the expectations you expect that, okay, maybe by now the incoming government should be looking at? Or what do you want from the incoming government?
I'm speaking for the business.
Yes, for business
environment.
Yes, for the business environment.
For the business environment, we need to create an avenue to make businesses easy to run. And I did mention that trust is important.
Yes.
Good governance is important. Overlapping functions of institutions should be totally eradicated. There must be a situation that other known brands can come back into this country. Did you observe that a number of them are moving to neighboring countries?
Yes.
Because things are very, very, very stifling. They are shutting down because the cost of running the businesses is enormous here. Because you provide everything. What government is supposed to provide? You provide road, you provide water, you provide electricity. That is frustrating. So I'm expecting the incoming government to, put this as a key aspect of a policy of its government, to say businesses will thrive in this country. All these laws that they are passing in recent time, these laws should have been passed long before now. I mean, most of the time we have the laws there, they become obsolete. They are not, like the omnibus law, the new KAMA, and all those, things that will make life easy for anyone that wants to come and set up a business in our environment. It should be done in such a way that it's conducive for them, it is comfortable, and then they need to watch the level of taxation. Multiple taxation is too enormous around here. You are running your business, the state will collect tax, the federal government collects tax, local government collects tax, world people collect tax. It's very frustrating. This needs to be reversed considerably so that businesses can grow. The more businesses we have, the more people will be employed, the better it is for the economy.
Thank you so much. I think we'll round off the show at this point in time. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today. We've been speaking with Mrs. Bunmi. She is the Secretary, International Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure having you.
The pleasure is absolutely mine. Thank you.
All right, NECA Voice of Business will be back same time next week, so do join us then. Thank you so much for listening in. My name is Bunmi. Do have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Join us next time on NECA Voice of Business, same time on this station. You can also follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook at NIG Employers, Instagram NECA the Voice of Business, Twitter at NECADOT.org,